All right. Are you curious to see what happened to Cam? So we're starting off on chapter 6, and I'm actually going to finish the book today. I'm going to do chapter 6 and 7. Ready? A big tall man was standing on top of the mound of dirt. He was wearing an ugly green tie and had a mustache that curled up at the ends. It was the runner. Well, he growled, look who we have here. The babysitter and her baby. Where's your friend? He went home. If you were smart, you would have done the same thing. Let's go. Cam carried Howie up the front steps of the house. Inside the house was musty. The floor was covered with dust and littered with old newspapers and magazines. The runner took Cam and Howie into a large room. Look what I got, the runner said. It's one of the kids I saw following me. A man and a woman looked up. It was the couple Cam had seen leaving Parker's jewelry store. They were sitting in worn, old-fashioned easy chairs. There was a small table in between them. Here's a picture. There's Cam and Howie. There's the couple that was holding the baby in the jewelry store. And there's the man with the ugly tie who ran from the jewelry store. You said there were two of them, the sitting man snapped. Where's the other one? He wasn't out there, the runner said. Great. Everything was perfect until you got yourself followed. Well, watch this kid. Don't let her get away. The runner nudged Cam and Howie into a corner. He stood there watching them. Cam looked at the thieves and was frightened. Let's divide this stuff and get out of here, the sitting man said. He took a large baby rattle out of his pocket. It was the rattle he was carrying as he left the store. He screwed off the top and carefully emptied the contents onto the table. Wow, the woman said. That was exactly how Cam felt. The rattle was filled with diamonds. They sparkled as the man started to count them. 1, 2, 3. Cam held Howie close and looked around the room. In the back, pulled away from the wall, there was a few large bookcases. There were windows behind the bookcases. There was an open door which led to another room. Cam looked at the thieves. Click. Something was missing. She whispered click and tried to remember what it was. The baby, she thought. Where's the baby? Then Cam noticed something on the floor wrapped in a pink blanket. It was a large doll. Cam realized there was never a baby. That's why the couple hadn't been carrying any of the things Eric's mom packed in the insulated bag. The thieves had taken the doll along so they would look like a family. And the rattle was a good place to hide the diamonds. The man was still counting. 58, 59, 60. Cam looked at her watch. It was 12:30. Where's Eric? She thought. Maybe he can't get the police to come. 79, 80, 81. We've got 81 diamonds, the man announced. Now let's see, he said as he did some figuring on an old newspaper. That's 81 divided by 3. That gives each of us 21. No, that's not right. He did some more figuring. 27, the woman said. We each get 27. The runner left Cam's side and went to get his diamonds. I can't wait for Eric, she thought. This is my chance. She held Howie tight and ran to the door in the back of the room. She slammed the door shut as if she were leaving the room. Then she jumped behind the nearest bookcase. There's a picture of her hiding. So she pretended she went through the door, but she just hid behind the bookshelves. Get her! Someone yelled. Cam hoped her trick would work. She couldn't see what was happening, but she heard doors opening and closing and a lot of yelling. Find her! I'm looking! Check the back room. The trick did work. The thieves thought she had left the room. They were looking all over the house for her. Cam knew she couldn't stay behind that bookcase forever. Eventually, the thieves would find her. She looked at Howie. His eyes were wide open. Or you might cry, Cam thought. There was a window behind the bookcase. Cam tried to open it. She couldn't. It was jammed. The window behind the next bookcase was open. But to get to it, Cam would have to run past a large area. Cam didn't know if anybody else was in the room. She was afraid to run out in the open. Someone ran past the bookcase. What about the kitchen? I've already looked there. Look again. Howie began to stir. Oh no, Cam thought. He's getting ready to cry. Chapter 7. The bottle, Cam thought. I should have taken it along. That would have kept him quiet. Then Cam had an idea. She gently pushed the tip of her finger into Howie's mouth. The baby was quiet as he sucked on Cam's finger. Cam heard footsteps. One of the men was standing very close. You check the cellar, the man yelled. I'll look in here. Cam heard the man move slowly around the room. Then it was quiet. Cam wondered, where had the man gone? Psst, psst. A sound came from behind. Cam was afraid to look. Psst, psst, over here. It didn't sound like one of the thieves. Cam turned. Through an open window behind the next bookcase, she saw the head and shoulders of a policeman. He was signaling for Cam to run over and climb out. Cam held Howie tightly. She ran past the open area, then squeezed into the small space between the window and the bookshelf. She handed Howie to the policeman. Then she jumped out and jumped to the ground. Eric ran up and took Howie in his arms. Howie looked at the policeman, then at Eric, then back at the policeman. Then Howie started to cry. Cam smiled. Boy, am I glad he didn't do that inside. Yes, I'm sure you are, the policeman said. Another policeman ran up to them. He was carrying a megaphone. How many of them are in there? 3. 2 men and a woman. That's what your friend told us. Cam and Eric went behind one of the police cars. I'm sure glad you're all right, Eric said. I got back here as fast as I could. The policeman held the megaphone to his mouth. This is the police. The house is surrounded. Come out with your hands up. Cam looked around. The house was surrounded. She saw about 15 policemen and 4 other police cars parked around the house. Come out with your hands up and you won't get hurt. The back door opened. First the woman came out, then the 2 men. They all had their hands up. The policeman handcuffed them and led them one by one to the police cars. Chapter 8. One of the policemen drove Cam, Eric, and Howie back to the shopping mall. Howie's carriage was tied to the roof of the car. You must be the camera, the policeman said to Cam. Your friend told us about your amazing memory. Well, it's lucky you were in the mall, the policeman went on. Those thieves had us baffled. Mr. Parker told us there was only 1 thief. So, of course, we changed to 1 man who ran. Mr. Parker was lying on the floor. Those 2 old ladies were facing the wall. None of them saw the thief join up with the woman and pretend to be part of the young family out shopping. The policeman drove the car through the shopping mall parking lot. He parked it right in front of Parker's jewelry store. Eric's mother and 2 sisters were waiting for them. So were the 2 old women. As soon as the police car stopped, Eric's mother ran over and opened the door. She quickly took Howie in her arms. Eric and Jennifer, it's 1 o'clock. Where have you been? Your mother has been worried sick, the old woman with the cane said. Those 2 are heroes, the policeman said, pointing to Cam and Eric. They helped us capture the gang that robbed the jewelry store. You know, the woman with the cane said, there was a nice young couple in Parker's. Here is a picture. There is Eric's mother, the two sisters. She's holding Howie. There's the carriage strapped to the top of the police officer's car. And there's the police officer with his arms around Cam and Eric. There was a nice young couple in Parker's when the store was robbed. I remembered that cute baby they had. Well, someone should tell them the robbers have been caught. They may have been worried. Nice couple, Cam yelled. Then she laughed. Eric and the policeman laughed too. The end. So there's how Cam's photographic memory was able to help catch the jewelry thieves. Did you have it figured out? Did you know how it happened? Did you think that Cam and Eric were going to get away? I was a little bit worried about Cam and the baby inside of that abandoned house. The next story I'm going to read is The Chocolate Touch. I hope you haven't heard it. I'll start that one next week. See ya. Miss you. Mean it.